Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Abrar Hussain, working as Junior Research Fellow at University of Karachi. Today I am presenting lecture entitled The Essence of Research. So it's cover the basic of research work. The objective of this lecture include the concept of research, what are the concept of research and what are the properties of the research. Second is the characteristics of research work, or what are the properties and elements which must be present while we are conducting a research work. And the third one is to develop a thirst for investigation that every one of us after the completion of this lecture know and have a thirst to investigate something new or to do something new for the humanity. So the content of this presentation will include the concept of the origin of research, characteristics of research, the types of research, and the importance or benefits of the research. It's mean that if someone claims that I'm conducting a research work, so he or she must know the what are the essence of the research, what is the basic rule and the basic principle of a research. So let's begin with the first, which is the concept of research, or what is the research concept. So the concept of research was began in the initially when the ancient people started that if we don't write our material, so it will become lost, just like in scientific writing. But later this idea was changed, and from French word, the research word is derived, which is called research. It's mean to do something new or to search again and again. But before this, what are the things which motivate us for research work? So as a Muslim, the most important thing for us is the our holy book Quran. So in Quran, so many times it's mentioned that to do something or to find something or to search, investigate the unseen. And it's the nature of human and the human being that he or she are trying to investigate the hidden things. So according to Quran, to do something, to instigate something. So it is the one of the best motivation for a Muslim or for us to follow the Quranic words and then motivate for research work. But besides there's some other motivation. For example, the internal curiosity of a person to do something is also considered a research motivation. The accept the challenge. It's mean that doing research is not a common or a simple way of conducting something new, but it's the kind of accepting one challenge, then solving the unsolved problem. So it's also kind of challenge that yes, I have the potential and I'm in the mood to follow or to solve all those problems which are still unsolved in our society in different form. Then intellectual joy is also considered one of the motivation, because if a researcher complete one task, so he or she definitely become more motivated and become more joy than the normal. And serving society is also, for example, if the researchers are don't try to, for example, develop antibiotic substances or antibiotic drugs, so definitely more people will be died because of the particular disease. So it's also a kind of serving of the society. And respect is another thing. We can see more of the researcher get more respect as compared to other. For example, we are talking about the scientists which have gone, for example, Newton, for example, Einstein, Tesla, etc. Although they are not present in the world, but still we are remember them because of their research and their contribution in research work. So after this brief motivation that yes, we have the property, the potential to accept the challenge, we have the property to do something for the society and also do something for the whole nation, for whole humanity. So now what is research? What actually research is? So research is a systematic way, an intensive investigation of the topic which are make a new knowledge, facts, theory, principle or laws. It's mean it's a kind of investigation, which best investigation must be some systematic, following some systematic rule, and this systematic rule maybe lead to the discovery of new knowledge in the form of maybe facts, theories, some laws, etc. So it's a systematic way of knowledge or systematic way of investigation to give new knowledge. It also consider that due to research work, the already existing false claim of thing must be evaluated whether the things are the claim around something is already stated, whether it's correct or not. So they give the correct facts about something, and they can also solve the new or existing problems, support theorem, and develop new theories because of this research work also. Research is all about the investigation, so it's a wide range of activities from scientific investigation to market research and everything in between them. It's mean that we are doing a basic research in a laboratory work in a scientific lab, but the product which we are using in our everyday life are because of that particular basic research in the lab. So it's the starting from the basic lab research to the market level available products. So it's also the all thing between them is investigated, and all thing between them, these two processes are considered as the part of research. And another property or another definition of research is it is a process of steps used to collect, analyze information to increase our understanding of a topic or issues. If something issues are exist and present are in a society, so definitely we perform some systematic way, some stepwise process to identify the solution of that particular problem. And it's the thirst for knowledge or knowledge quest. It's mean a systematic quest for knowledge that is characterized by discipline and inquiry. So we follow some systematic way. About this, there are multiple definitions we can also find, but in a nutshell, the definition of research is a systematic investigation of things which may define the facts about already available things, or they help to solve the existing problem, increase the knowledge, and give us a sprint to understand the topic or the issue more detail and solve the problem. So this is called research. Now, what are the characteristics of research? So there are plenty of characteristics available, but we are stating few of them. For example, the research must be logical. If you are performing some research, it definitely has some logic. Why I am conducting this research work? Then it must be observation based on observation. If we are doing research, especially experimental research, so we observe something that if like happen like this, so it may be the possible reason or the possible solution of that particular problem. So it based on observation. It must be analytical based, that we are the data analyzed and the data getting must be analyzed very critically. And there must be accuracy, must be keep in mind. It's one of the key characteristics of the research work, that once we are claiming anything must be correct and accurate, irrespective of their data or the instrument or the tool which we are using for collecting of data. It must be empirical. Empirical means that the research data which is collected must be based on some observation, some experimental, and some experience based. So the data collected, they must be analyzed further. And control means that research is a control study. We have some time spent also. We are performing mostly research work in the laboratory control room, which is called laboratory in a scientific way. So we are performing the research work. Everything is on control. For example, we can also control the parameter which we are want to be controlled. So all these things make a control research. It must be unbiased. We are not interested, and researcher is not interested to study some biased thing. For example, it's more related to female, male, etc. So there must be unbiased. And reductive, another property is reductive. It's mean that once some researcher perform the research fact or research data, it must be published. So it means that this research work will reduce the work burden of other people to do not perform the same things again and again. So it will save time, money, and everything. Replicability is the another property of research, which means that if research is performed in one lab, so by providing the same condition, but other people in other place must be give the same results. And ethical, it's important that especially in case of animal or human study, the research must be approved from the ethical committee of the institute, of the university, etc. So it's also most important. Multidisciplinary approach must be followed by research, and it is very common nowadays that any kind of research is not completed without a multidisciplinary approach. And cost effective, for a country such like Pakistan, it's most important that the research which we are trying to conduct must be cost effective. And validity, it's mean the data must be stated accurately and very valid data. If someone trying to perform independently, so they get the same results. And credibility, it's just like a replicability, that the result or the data which we are trying to communicate must be correct, accurate, and must be replicable. And rigorous, it's mean that the research work must form follow a straightforward rule or straightforward systematic approach. So there must be no deviation from that particular path. So there are plenty of other characteristics, but these are the important characteristics which are followed during the any kind of research, irrespective of the lab or irrespective of the survey research, etc. So these are keep in mind while we are conducting a research work. Then what are the types of research work? So there are plenty of types of research work, but we are studied, for example, the types, the research work may be classified on the basis of purpose. It may be exploratory research, descriptive research, or explanatory research. The research may be in the form of usage, for example, basic research, applied research, and action research. On the basis of time span of data, for example, how much time they given for collection of data. It may be cross-sectional research, longitudinal research, or time series research. The research type on the basis of data, it may be qualitative data or quantitative data, or some secondary analysis may be happened. And the other aspect are method which are used during the research or for research conduction. For example, there may be some operational research, some system analysis, some field study. So these are different kinds of research available nowadays, and people are working. So these are not, research work is not restricted to this, but these are some basic kind and very well-known kind of research. So if we are interested to do research, so first we define that in which kind of research we are interested in which kind of research we are doing. So it will easy our work. But for sake of simplicity, for just understanding, I just explain a very few of them. For example, basic research is mostly conducted for the enhancement of knowledge. That doesn't mean that we can create something new or we can develop some new concept, etc. But its main thing, its main concern is about the expansion of knowledge. That what are the properties or what are the things or data available about a specific topic, we are wants to improve this data or this concept or this knowledge. So basic research is mostly for the improvement of knowledge. Opposite of the basic research is the applied research, which is mostly focused on to solve a real life problem. If, for example, there's something problem associated or present in our society, if someone is trying to solve this problem or this kind of problem, so they must perform some applied research. Another type, which is very common type of research, is called qualitative research. It's mean that it's this kind of inquiry research or inquiry analysis are the in-depth understanding of a problem or issue, irrespective of their irrespective of their statistic data. That we are not interested to collect some data, but we are going to some in-depth analysis, and because the sample size must be a very limited amount. For example, 6 to 10 participants is also enough for this. And mostly the qualitative research is based on the experience of the person. The quantitative research is against them, which is the research which must be performed by operation around some collecting data. The data must be analyzed by computationally or by statistical methods, and must be present that we collected such kind of data, we analyze by this method, and we get this result. Another difference is that in quantitative research, there must be a large population. And another types or difference from qualitative is that in quantitative research, there must be a close-ended question. It's mean that the participant can answer yes and no. So these are some character differences between these two kinds. Now, if some we are define our research work and we are, for example, in the mood to conduct a research. So how to conduct a research? There are few steps very common to every research. For example, first of all, identification and formulation of the research problem. What are our hypotheses and what are the problem which we are trying to address? Second, then we can collect information and literature review what already known about that particular topic and what we are trying to address. So second step is the literature review. Third is the preparing research design. Now we collect data and we know already done is already which is done against about this particular topic, how we can conduct and how we can improve this particular topic in the presence of the existing data. So we can write a synopsis. Then we select one method, that this kind of method, for example, in vivo, in vitro, or in silico method we are trying to use. Then we construct for data collection how we can collect data and how much we can collect data. So this will be constructed. Then we can go to the proper research and collect the data, then analyze the data and interpretation of the data, how much data we collected, which we already described that. For example, we can take 100 bacterial strains from different environments. Now we are in the time and the mood to interpret them, what we will get with this information or this strains. Reporting and evaluating research, what we get must be reported to the scientific community. And the last one is the writing research report. So once we get enough data, enough information, when enough result, we can state it in the form of a research paper or any kind of scientific writing. So these are general steps which must be followed during research to be conducted. Now, why we are doing research? What are the importance of research, or what benefits we get from research work? So there are plenty of opportunity, plenty of importance of research is available, but important of them, for example, for us is the real fact. So we know about the exact knowledge about something, that this is true or false. Evaluate, we can evaluate something, mostly in the case that there is some false claim available or present around something. So we mostly reframe this, or we contradict them by the conducting a research. So it evaluate, it kind of evaluation. We can design something new things by the research. We can implement this research work in our community, and we can see around a plenty of example, everything, for example, from plugin, from the already things which we are using. And socioeconomics, definitely the country economics value mostly based on the research work. So if a country has strong research collaboration, strong research work, so definitely they will develop more and more things. It can also use for self-learning. If someone is interested in internal quiz for knowledge is, so they can also be fed by the conducting research work. It also used for understanding of the phenomena things. It's also used for the public awareness. For example, the prevalence of that particular pathogenic microbes in the environment is this. We can protect ourselves from this particular disease by this and this. So all these data, all these information came from research. So it can also give a public awareness. It also create a plenty of opportunity for a research scholar, and they can also use for the nourishment of brains. It's mostly related for the person which are interested in, which are trying to do research, and also used for exercise of mind. So mostly the research scholar are use their mind by engaging themselves in different activity. For example, sometimes they perform experimental research, sometimes they are interested to do some basic research, or converted themselves to some writing. So all these things are used for the as a beneficial aspect of the research work, are these are the properties or the benefits which we get from the research work. So these are besides this, there are also so much other available, and the advancement of this such kind of importance. So with this, I'm just concluding that research is the thirst of investigation, a systematic investigation of something, which are followed some time span, cost effective, and in the after this conduction of research, we get some new information, knowledge, theories, or principle. We can also help to they formulate something into the community. The best motivational for research is the Quran and other thing. Also internal curiosity. Also how we conduct research. So there are multiple steps. For example, first we formulate a research. First we select our type of research. What are the types of research in which I am conducting or I'm trying to conduct? Then we can try to study their properties, whether it's qualitative or quantitative, and then how we can collect data, and then how we can formulate and how we can organize all these things. And the aims, definitely, if you want or not, so what will be the benefits for us, the benefits for the society and for the whole nation. So I keep in mind all these things can help us to nourish our brain also, and can also give us plenty of opportunity. Thank you very much.